Good morning, everyone. So, in our last class, we have started the digestive system, and from the digestive system, we have finished the first organ, that is the mouth. So we have started mouth. Mouth was the first organ related to alimentary canal. So in mouth, we learned that mouth has mouth has tongue. Then what else? Teeth. And it also has another thing, that's what? Salivary glands. So these were the important things present in the first organ of our alimentary canal. So in our last class we have finished till teeth. Today we will learn about tongue and salivary gland. So let's start today's class. So as I have already said that in our previous class we have learned about teeth. What we learned that teeth, there are different types of teeth. All the teeth, they have different functions, and one of the main functions of the teeth is that why it helps in chewing. And while chewing, it helps in the process of mastication. What is mastication? What is mastication? So mastication means food mixed with saliva. Food plus saliva, what happens? It's known as mastication. It's masticating the food. That means the food, it will not be dry. It will be mixed with saliva, and it will be moistened up. And that process is called mastication, and it is very important in the process of digestion. So now we will learn about tongue. So let's start. So tongue is a muscular organ. Tongue, a muscular organ, is also important for eating and performs several functions. So tongue, here you can see the picture of tongue. So tongue is a muscular organ. It does not have any bones. The tongue only have muscles in it, so we call it a muscular organ. It's only made of muscles. It's also important for, so what is the importance of tongue? It's important in eating. It's the first part, and also performs several functions. So what are the several functions it helps in? The first one is mixing the chewed food with saliva. So to help the food mix up with saliva, tongue helps. The tongue will, what the tongue will do? The tongue will help the food to mix with saliva. And then what is the second one? It also helps in swallowing the food. So after breaking down the food, when you take the food, at first you will chew the food. You will break the food into pieces, and then after chewing is over, what is the step? What is the next step? You will swallow the food, isn't it? So it helps in swallowing. So it will push the food. Suppose this is the food, it has to go down the alimentary canal. So what the tongue will do? The tongue will help in swallowing. Somehow it will push, and the food will go in the alimentary canal. It helps in swallowing the food. Next, what does the tongue do? The tongue tastes, as it has sense organs called the taste buds. So it is one of the most important thing and the unique thing that the tongue has. What the tongue has? It has taste. So because of the tongue only, we are able to know the 4 basic tastes. What are the 4 basic tastes? Salty, sour, sweet, and bitter. And in addition, it also helps us to speak. So can you see? tongue is very helpful. Yeah, so what were the things that tongue helps? Tongue helps in, what is the first thing? It helps in chewing. Yeah, so if you want to know how tongue helps in chewing, try to chew without your tongue. Roll your tongue and try to chew if it is possible. It's not possible. Yeah, so without tongue chewing is not possible. Second, without tongue, what is not possible? What else is not possible? Swallowing the food is not possible. Yeah, so if you do not have a tongue, you won't, it will be difficult for you to swallow the food. Next, what the tongue helps? It helps in taste. So tongue, because of the tongue only, you are able to taste all the four basic tastes, that are sweet, salty, sour. If you eat something if you eat a cake, then you will be able to know that the cake is sweet. Yeah, if you eat a lemon, then you'll be able to know that the lemon tastes sour. So all this is done by the tongue. Next, what is the role of the tongue? It also helps in speaking. So without tongue, a person will not be able to speak. So these are the four main important things that the tongue provides. The first one is chewing. It will help the food to be chewed up. Yeah, then the second, it will help the food to swallow. It will help the food to move down the alimentary canal. Then it will help us to taste. It helps us in tasting. Yeah, because of tongue we like eating yummy foods. Yeah, so we like eating yummy food, tasty foods, because of what? Because of the presence of tongue. It helps us to taste food, and then it also helps us to speak. So without the tongue, no person would be able to speak. So these are the four basic things that the tongue helps. Yeah, so we'll remember that. Okay, let's move to salivary glands. So at the activities, I am not doing the activities. If you try reading the activities, because they are very easy. If you find any difficulty, you can let me know, then I'll make you explain. Okay, so let's move to the next one, that is the salivary glands. So what is the salivary glands? So there are three pairs of salivary glands in our mouth. A watery material called saliva is secreted by these glands. So if you can see the picture here, see here. So here you can see that, here can you see there are three salivary glands. Yeah, here is the ear, so one is below your ear, other ones are here below. Yeah, so there are three salivary glands. So what does this salivary gland secrete? It secretes saliva. So what is saliva? Even now, if you notice your mouth is watery, isn't it? You will feel your mouth is watery. And what is that watery substance? It's nothing but it's saliva. Yeah, so our mouth, it's never dry. It gets never dried up because of the presence of these glands, and because these glands supply saliva to our mouth never gets dried up, and this saliva is secreted by the three salivary glands present near the mouth. Now let's move. Saliva helps in, okay, I forgot to make you underline. Please underline these things. So it helps in, sorry. So this one you underline. It helps in the first point. You underline this whole line. It helps the mixing the chewed food with saliva, then swallowing the food, then the tongue taste, as it has taste organs called the taste buds. So because of the presence of taste buds, we are able to taste all these things: salty, sour and sweet. Yeah, and then underline this last line also. So these are the four things that the tongue helps us do. Yeah, so underline these lines. Now the salivary glands. So here also please underline that's the first line. There are three pairs of salivary glands in our mouth. So we have three pairs of salivary glands. A watery material called saliva is secreted by these glands. So what is secreted by the glands? Saliva. Saliva helps in the digestion of food. So why is saliva so necessary? Why? What will happen if there is no saliva in our mouth? It is important because it helps in digestion. Yeah. Saliva contains, why it's important in digestion? Now we'll know. Saliva, because saliva contains an enzyme called amylase or tyalin. Amylase acts on starch and changes it into sugar called maltose. The sugar is sweet and soluble in water. So now we know that why saliva is important in digestion. Why it's important? Because saliva, it contains a very important enzyme, and that's what? That is amylase. So amylase is a type of enzyme that's present in your saliva. So why is this enzyme very important to us? Because it helps in the breaking down of starch. Now can you see why saliva is important in the digestion? Because saliva, it possesses amylase in it. Yeah, it is an enzyme, and this amylase helps in the breaking down of the starch. So saliva is a very important part of our digestive system. The enzyme amylase is also known as tyalin. So this tyalin or amylase, it helps in the breaking down of starch into a more simpler form of sugar that's known as maltose. So if this is the starch, yeah, so what will amylase do? It will break the starch and it will make maltose. Yeah, so what is maltose? So these are maltose. So what is maltose? It's a simpler form of sugar. If you taste the maltose, you will find it's very sweet, yeah, and it's also soluble. It's soluble in water. So now you understood what happens. Starch is converted to maltose and the sugar is sweet and soluble in water. So underline the first line you have done. Now underline this line. Saliva contains an enzyme called amylase, also called tyalin. So what does amylase do? It acts on starch and changes it into sugar called maltose. So what is the sugar that amylase is converted to? It's known as maltose. Understood? Next, to know how if amylase acts on starch or no, you can do this activity. Yeah, it's a very simple activity. Read by yourself. If you find any difficulty, you can ask me. So if you read the activity, you will understand it. Next, we will move to the second organ present in the digestive system or the alimentary canal. What is the second organ? That is known as esophagus or gullet. So what is esophagus? Esophagus connects the mouth cavity with the stomach and is also called the food pipe. So the whatever food we eat through the mouth and it reaches the stomach. So between the mouth and the stomach there is a bridge. Yeah, there has to be bridge. Otherwise, how will the food be delivered to the stomach? So that bridge, we call it what? Esophagus. That's known as esophagus. Understood? So this esophagus is also called the food pipe. Why the food pipe? Because that pipe only allows the food to pass through the pipe, and it helps in reaching the stomach. It does not allow air. Yeah, so for passing the air we have another pipe, air pipe, that's windpipe, that's known as what? Trachea. Yeah, so that's a different chapter. Now in digestion, what we have come to know that esophagus, it only allows food to pass through it, and that's why it's known as the food pipe. So underline the first line till food pipe. So it runs along the neck and the chest. Yeah, no digestion takes place here. It only helps in pushing the food into the stomach. Vomiting takes place when the food is not accepted by the stomach. Yeah, so here what happens? No digestion takes place. So even though this organ is the very important part of our digestive system, here no digestion occurs. So this is the esophagus. Here no digestion occurs. Yeah, it only helps like a delivery system. Yeah, so it only delivers the food from the stomach to from the mouth to the stomach. Yeah, and this esophagus, what we have learned, this esophagus only, what does it do? It only helps in pushing the food into stomach. So it pushes the food. Can you see this picture? So one of the most important rule of esophagus is to push the food to the stomach. How does it do? How does this happens? By the help of a movement known as peristalsis movement. Yeah, so a movement occurs, and that's known as peristalsis. So what is peristalsis movement? What happens in peristalsis? You can see the picture here. Yeah, so whenever you eat a food, suppose you have eaten something, yeah, and then what will happen? The food, it will reach in point number 1, and then it will, the esophagus will create a movement like a wavy movement. Yeah, like this. So what happens? Its peristalsis movement is nothing but the contraction and expansion of the esophagus. Yeah, so here you can see when the food reached here, this part, point number 1, it got swollen up, it expanded, the esophagus got expanded, and then when the food reached point number 2, the previous point number 1, it got contracted. Yeah, so suppose you have eaten the food, this is so whenever you eat the food, it will make way. Yeah, it's a small pipe. Yeah, so whenever you eat, it will move, it will exert pressure, and the pipe, it will make way, it will expand. Yeah, so it will expand. Then when the food moves here, what will happen? The pipe will come, this thing, it will get contracted. It's just like a wave. Can you see? I can draw a wave here. So whenever the food will reach, wherever the food is, the place where the food will be present, that place will be swollen up, will be expanded. Yeah, as soon as the food reaches the next point, this point, it will contract, it will come to its original shape like this, and then when it reaches to this point, this thing will get contracted and this thing will get expanded. Yeah, so it works like this, like this, like the waves. Yeah, so here the food comes from point to point, and the esophagus makes its way. If you see the picture here, you can understand point number 1, whenever the food was in point number 1, it got expanded. As soon as it reached point number 2, point number 1, it got contracted. So like this movement, this particular movement happens throughout the pipe, and then it will reach in the stomach. Yeah, here you can see in point number 3, when it reached point number 3, this point number 1 and 2, it came back to its original shape. Yeah, point number 3, now it got expanded. As soon as it will leave point number 3, it will again come back to its original shape. Yeah, so like that, after the food reaches the stomach, the esophagus comes back to its original shape. So that movement, that wavy movement, it's known as the peristalsis movement. So, and that movement helps in reaching the food to the stomach. Next, so whenever the stomach, what is the next organ? The next organ after esophagus is stomach. So whenever, so if the stomach does, if the stomach does not reaches, does not want our food, suppose you have eaten so much that your stomach is full, yeah, and your stomach does not want more food now, so what will happen? The food that was coming to be delivered in the stomach, it will go upwards, yeah. So the peristalsis movement will happen from the downwards this time, and then vomiting occurs, yeah. So you will spit out the, you will vomit the food, yeah. So vomiting occurs when the stomach is not able to take in more food. Next organ is the stomach. So what happens in stomach? Stomach is a muscular bag lying in the upper abdomen. So stomach is nothing but a bag, yeah. You can imagine a bag. What happens when we take a bag? Suppose this is a bag. So when we take a bag, what happens? What we do in the bag? We keep on putting things, yeah. We store the things, we put the things. So the stomach also, it's a bag. It's a bag that stores our food, that digests our food. And that bag is made up of, again, muscles. There's no bones in your stomach. So that's a muscular bag. Where does it lie? It lies in the upper abdomen. That means it lies here. So this is your upper abdomen, yeah. So this portion is the upper abdomen and this portion is your lower abdomen. So your stomach is not present in the lower abdomen, but it's present in the upper abdomen. Next, here the food is churned and converted into a semi-solid paste. The stomach secretes a digestive juice called gastric juice and hydrochloric acid. Proteins present in the food are digested by the digestive juice partly. So here the food is churned and converted into a semi-solid food. So here what will happen? When the food reaches here, what will happen? The food will be converted. It will be continuously it will be continuously moved and broken down into pieces, and then it will be converted into a semi-solid paste, yeah. So here the food, the breaking down of the food first started here in the mouth. Now it will be further broken down into pieces here in the stomach. Next, it will be converted into a semi-solid paste. The stomach secretes, what does the stomach secretes? It secretes a digestive juice. So what is the digestive juice? It's called gastric juice. Underline this line. The stomach secretes a gastric juice called digestive juice called gastric juice and hydrochloric acid. So how does the stomach helps in digestion? Because it secrets what? It secretes two things. The first one is digestive juice, and the second one is hydrochloric acid, yeah. So or HCl. So these are the two things that the stomach secretes, and because of these two things the food can be further digested or broken down. Proteins present in the food are digested by the digestive juice partly. So our food, it contains all the nutrients, and the proteins present in the nutrients are partly, to some extent, digested by the gastric juice or the digestive juice, yeah. So the proteins present in the food is begins to digest with the help of gastric juice. Next, the partially digested food from here goes to the small intestine. So after the food gets digested in the stomach, so that partly digested food now will slowly move to the small intestine. Yeah, it will make its way to our next organ, and that's the small intestine. Yeah, so it traveled all the way here, from here to the stomach, and from the stomach now it will go to the small intestine to get fully digested. Yeah, so let's see. So here they have given us a question. So what is the question? That what causes hiccups? So you know hiccups. So what causes hiccups? So sometimes when you eat in a hurry or you talk or laugh while eating, you get hiccups. Yeah. So when do you get hiccups? When you keep talking or laughing while eating, you will get hiccups. Why you get hiccups? Because this happens when the food particles enter the windpipe instead of the food pipe. So as I have told you that this is the food pipe, that's the esophagus. Yeah, so behind the food pipe there's another pipe, and the food pipe will carry the food, and the windpipe it's connected to the nose, from the nose to the lung. Yeah, so the windpipe, what does the windpipe do? It carries the air. Yeah, exchange of gases happens through the trachea. So whenever you laugh or talk while eating, sometimes what happens, the food, instead of going to the food pipes, it goes to the windpipe by mistake, and when that happens you get hiccups. Yeah, the windpipe, it's a natural action. Yeah, that's a natural reaction that that happens in our body, that whenever the food goes to the windpipe, our body tries to remove that food from the windpipe and tries to get back it on the food pipe. So in normal situation, during swallowing of food, flap like valve closes the passes of the windpipe and does not allow the food particles to enter it. Thus the food particles are guided into the windpipe. So naturally what happens, the food the swallowing, whenever we swallow the foods are not allowed to go in the windpipe. But sometimes when you eat or talk or laugh during eating, that time sometimes what happen, by mistake food goes in the windpipe and then you get hiccups. That's the history of hiccups. Okay, next, what was the next organ? That was small intestine. So what is small intestine? It is a long coiled tube. It also secretes a juice, and digestion of all types of food is carried out and completed here. So the journey of digestion started from mouth, and the small intestine is the last stoppage for digestion. Here the process of digestion will end. Yeah, it will end. So what happens in small intestine now? How it will end? All the partially digested food will come to the small intestine, and the small intestine is a coiled tube. Yeah, it's very long, and that's why it's coiled in our stomach. Yeah, it's present in the lower abdomen. Yeah, it's a very small tube, and it's always coiled up. So somehow like this. Yeah. So the food from the stomach, it will now move to the small intestine. It's a coiled tube, and now when the food enters the small intestine, it will slowly move this way. All the way it will follow the coils, and the food will keep moving. Yeah, and when it gets moving whenever it gets moving along with the journey, the food will be getting digested further. Yeah, so all this way the foods are getting digested. Yeah, one step closer to end the digestion process. So it will keep moving, it will keep moving, and finally here it will end the large intestine, and when it joins the large intestine, here the process of digestion will end. So all the chapter of digestion, it has to be completed here. Yeah, so through all the way the small intestine helps the food to get further digested. So here all the so here it also secretes a juice and digestion. So all the types of digestion is carried out here, and it also secretes a juice. As a result of digestion, food is converted into simpler form, and glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids, etc. are formed. So what happens? All the foods will be now finally be converted into its simplest forms, yeah, in the forms that our body can absorb. So before we add the complex food, yeah, so now all the nutrients now is broken down into its simplest form. Yeah, so small intestine, okay, so underline the this line, underline the second line, please underline the second line till here. Okay, so as a result of digestion, what happens? The food is now converted into its simplest form. What is the simplest form? So as a result of digestion, we will get what? So okay, let me complete the sentence. These end products are now ready for absorption. Small intestine also absorbs the digested food and passes it to the bloodstream. Okay, this line also please underline. Into simpler form, food is converted into simpler form, and glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids, etc. are formed. Underline that line, and underline this line. Small intestine also absorbs the digested food and passes it to the blood system. Underline that line also. Done? Okay. So what are the main things? So what happens here? What is the story of digestion in small intestine? So what are the main things that needs to be broken down? The first one is carbohydrate. Yeah. Then protein. Then what? Fats. So these are the three most essential things that needs to be broken down. So at first what will happen? So here at last you can see the carbohydrates, all the carbohydrates that's present, that will be broken down. So the carbohydrate will be broken down into, that means the starch. Yeah, the starch, at first it was broken down to maltose in our mouth. Now it will be further, that means what is maltose? Maltose means small sugars, yeah, or smaller sugars. That's the simplest form of sugar. So carbohydrates will be broken down into maltose. Next, proteins. Yeah, so now proteins will be broken down into amino acids. Yeah, so the proteins that we get will be broken down into amino acids, singular units. This, then the fats, this also now will be broken down into, fats will be broken down into glycerol or fatty acids. Yeah, so can you see all the complex forms got converted into its simplest forms. So the simplest form are the forms that our body can absorb. Yeah, so here all this will happen. So throughout all its journey in the small intestine, the foods, whatever the foods were left to be digested, all will be digested in the last point. Yeah, so we will get the end products. So what are the end products? Glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, all this we will get, and these end products are now ready for absorption. Yeah, so in small intestine, the small intestine is made up of actually finger leg projections. This we will further discuss, and this are known as what? They are known as villi. We will learn about this. And this villi, these are the finger leg projections, and this villi has a connection to our circulatory system or to the bloodstream. Okay, so it has a connection to our bloodstream. So when the food moves in the small intestine, the villi, it keeps on absorbing the food. Yeah, it keeps on absorbing the food, and it sends the food in our bloodstream. And then this blood, when the nutrients get transferred to the bloodstream, these nutrients will now be transferred to the cell and ready for our body to use it. So that is how absorption occurs. Yeah, so small intestine also absorbs the digested food and pass it on the bloodstream. Thus the nutrients are carried to all the parts of the body. So this is how after absorption happens. Suppose absorption is happening from here. This is the wall of the villi, and the villi will have a connection to the bloodstream. So all the foods here will be transferred to the bloodstream. Yeah, so now the blood will carry the nutrients to all parts of our body. Yeah, understood? So that is the story of our small intestine, and here the process of digestion ends. After this, digestion will not occur. Yeah, so digestion finished here. In our next class, we'll learn about the other organs. Okay, so let's end today's class. Thank you.